Okay, the last main question.
Yeah.
Since the copy now has gained a more free and promotional aspect um, that it had 10 years ago, what's your opinion about the composer and author when this
Yeah.
person, the author, is disassociated with the same person that plays the music? Which had a more, I mean, the composer his income is usually with copies until since the beginning of publishing to nowadays, you know.
Yeah.
So with the banalization, I don't know if there's
I don't know
such
that
an
word,
English.
yeah.
There is in Portuguese.
Okay.
But since like copies are now something that you give away, how about the composer that's mainly the composer? You know,
Yeah.
he only works writing songs.
Yeah,
You know.
I think that's really hard. I am not going to sugarcoat it. I think that's really hard. I think that composers that are not touring, that are not in a band, that are limited to earning their income through, just placements or mechanical royalties, from a label. I think it's difficult. I think there are people that do it and do it well and still get paid. There is another instructor at Berklee Music named Ben Newhouse. He teaches the orchestration courses. So he is like a fantastic writer, an amazing writer, and he's sought after. He has written something ridiculous, like 10,000 pieces or something. Look at his bio. So he's making it happen, because his work is amazing, and he found his niche in LA, so he's writing for film, he's writing for TV, and he's become that guy, he's a go-to guy for these people. So he's making it happen. But people, and because he's found his niche. So I think that's kind of one way to do it. Again, the niche thing. But I think artists. Now I'm not gonna say artists. I think composers that are just writing for other artists, they're still going to make money. Let me think how I can say this. It was I'm trying to remember the artist. There's a Boston-based woman. Shoot, I can't remember, so I'll have to cut that bit out. But I think at the bottom, at the end of the day, it's more difficult than it was in regard to people that are just writing for other artists, because there's less outlets out there, for payment. Record sales are like this. While there's a lot of things that help artists and bands, get visibility, and there are other kind of verticals that they can, generate income from. It's more difficult for the composer in some cases. But going back to like a Ben Newhouse example, there are people out there that are making it happen if they find their niche.
All right. And the last one is actually if you have any other advices to artists that are beginning their careers or thinking about starting this crazy world that the music market.
Yeah.
What would be any other advice? Despite what we discussed here today.
Outside of what we discussed, I'm just going to reiterate the fact that you got to start off on your own. You got to do it. You have to understand that nobody's going to help you, even if you've got the best music. Your music is fantastic. But if you're just at your house and writing creative music and not getting out there in one way or another, and that could be through touring, or that could be through like the Pamplemousse people, that had this amazing YouTube channel. If you're not, actively working on the business side, you're going to have problems. So, there's a lot of free tools out there to get started, low-cost tools to get started. You just have to dive in. You have to work on identifying who you're going to be talking to, what your niche is, looking at yourself, seeing, all right, here's what I stand for, here are my causes, we find people that are similar, that might identify with my music, finding that, doing your business, finding the people, then getting all the web stuff happening is a great place to start, starting with your own site, then branching out into third-party sites, and then as you grow, there are traditional things that exist that can help, a lot of direct-to-fan campaigns have a press component, that, Metric is a great example of so many different things, but they were working with a press company called Sneak Attack, and they just got Metric all over the place. Metric has been working their Fantasies record for about 2 years, That's awesome. So it's another good point. We've kind of gone through a period where records used to be available now, and there would be this period of time where, heavy-duty marketing, then there'd be a tour, and then it would go like this, So I think now the opportunity is always available. So you can do like serialized content to keep things happening for the main record, Release different things to your fans, release different singles, release acoustic versions, release this and that, video. And you can, what Metric did, they're going like this, it's amazing, 2 years later, they're still on this record. They just did something with Twilight soundtrack, I think. But, last point, look at what other artists are doing. Follow people on Twitter that know what they're talking about. Follow different blogs. If you're interested in succeeding in music, there's a lot of people out there that are giving free advice, real advice, real case studies. This stuff is floating around. Take the best things that exist that pertain to what you're doing and put it to work for you. And that's what I'm doing every day. I'm just absorbing information, from a lot of different places. And there are people that are really making it happen for themselves, for their own niche, in different ways. And every artist can look at different examples and say, you know what, I could do something similar to this, So I think it's just being open, understanding the business, getting things started yourself. Again, kind of a long answer, but that's sort of my advice.
That's perfect.
All
That's
right, cool.
perfect. All right.